Hello again, it's Vern here. We're in a field again. You may notice a couple of changes, but don't worry, that's another time. I've had a few people ask me about how to get involved with events like this, how to set up groups. So I thought I'd do a video just for you lot, just to give you an idea of how you go about it. Hi there.
Hello.
If you can introduce yourself and your character.
In the real world, I'm a student from Aberdeen. My name's Elliot Roberts. Outside of the real world, in my own head and in everyone else's head here, I'm Uhtred Kettleson, leader of the Black Hand. I've got my little sash here, and I play a cat fae. Interestingly, a cat fae / werewolf. It's providing problems. But,
Purry.
Purry and furry.
How did you get involved with the life role-playing world?
Oh, that goes back to my childhood. I had a few friends. We did it at Chislehurst Caves, and it just started out as kind of a children's hobby, and I went with friends and that kind of thing. After a couple of year hiatus, my friend came to me and said that he had found a new system through his father, which was Lorien Trust, the field that we're in now, and I've been returning annually since, well, many times a year since about 7 years ago, when I actually joined up with the Lorien Trust.
You say you got together with a friend. When you turned up to this system, you had several people involved. How did you put that group together?
Well, actually the group started from myself and my friend. Our very first event, the gathering of 6 years ago, I'm not even going to work out what that is, 11:05 I think it was. After that gathering, we were just kind of sitting around waiting for his dad to get here, and we thought that we weren't happy with serving other people's kind of wishes and following other people's groups. We wanted to kind of make our own stuff, so we had a good while in which to just sit and think, and we created the Order of the Black Hand, which I'm now head of. He was head of it up until his character died earlier this year, and we just got an idea of what we wanted to do. For us, it's a military order. I think you can really split the groups that you can find down into noble houses, religious orders, warrior orders, as ours is, and I don't know, really anything your mind can conjure up as a reason to have a group, you can start a group based around that.
With the practicalities, you said that you started LARPing with Chislehurst Caves.
Yeah.
How did you find out about Chislehurst Caves?
It's quite a while ago, and I don't know. I think it probably was through the same friend that I found out about Lorien Trust. His father deals in reenactment kits, so he found out through the kind of interlinking of live roleplay and reenactment. And there are a lot of kind of overlaps there. I personally just think it was through a friendship, and I think most people here, I know certainly most people in my group have come because of other friends who are doing it already. If you don't have friends doing it already, and are kind of a student, the games societies and role-play societies will definitely have links through them if you're interested. Otherwise, there are various online forums which will be able to point you in the direction of various starting places. You can get into something local or get into something bigger like this.
Logistically, when you set up the group, what did you have to do for things like tents and booking forms and little things like that?
Tents is an ongoing matter. The tent we're currently using is actually on loan from my friend's father, but really, once you've got a group together, you just kind of work out how much you're willing to spend on how big your group is, so how big your tent needs to be, and how much you're willing to spend on said tent. I think for our group, there's about 6 of us, so a small tent is fine, and it's about 200 quid or so.
Do you find the tent more useful, or could a group form without the tent?
Oh, a group can certainly form without a tent. We've got a handmade banner. It's someone's just stick that we put a crossbar on, and then we've hung a cloth banner on it with our symbol. And I have turned up to an event, and I have stuck that in the ground, and that has been our meeting spot for our group. Normally I stick it in front of someone else's tent who I spend the evenings in. But yes, you don't need an in-character tent. Obviously you need a sleeping tent, but you don't need an in-character tent to have a group.
In the way the forms, what do you do when you filled in forms, when you form the group?
Honestly, the group just evolved out of an idea, so we just, on the booking forms for the system, we just simply said that we were part of this new order, and there wasn't any hassle. So
there wasn't any form you had to fill in for the group. You basically nominated a group leader, let's say, and that person then became the head of the group, and you got recognised as a group because of what you wore, and things like that.
Yeah, it's what we wore, what we did. Particularly for us, it helped that we had quite a lot of figureheads. There are very few people behind me who are all black, and our leader was all black, wearing black face paint and black clothing. So he stood out, which did help.
Did you find that you became noticeable through your actions rather than through your costume and other things?
The first event that we turned up to as a group, 3 of us turned up to it. We made ourselves known as a new group, and for the entire weekend we were being watched. Everyone had an eye out for us, just making sure that we were both A-OK in kind of real world sense, and also the in-character mindset of we could be doing something dodgy. So we set ourselves up as a questionable force, but that just made them stop and look and kind of take note of what we were doing, and then they saw that we were actually doing something good. A lot of it, like forward movement, progressive work.
You were doing what is classed as good role play.
Good role play, certainly, yes. Also beneficial actions.
Actually getting involved and role playing to a standard that most people thought was significant, and you got rewards for that.
Yes, we got, in the past years we've had, there are faction special items, and we've had our hands on a couple of them every so often, just because they know that we can use them, and we've proved that we can work with the system, work with the role play of the system, and we can do a good job, like using the items to help the faction.
One last thing, outside the system, do you get together to do maybe practice or other role play ideas just as a group? How do you go about this?
Outside, because we started off as a friendship group, originally we would meet up quite often, go around each other's houses, and because we all live kind of locally together, we'd have like kind of practice sessions, just meet-ups and chats and all this kind of stuff. As the group evolved, we got people from all across England, and so meeting up at each other's houses became less feasible. But with the internet, we had lots more conversations across the internet. We used a site called freewebs.org, I believe, which does free website hosting, and through that we set up our own group website, which we kind of used as a funnel point for all of our contacts.
So you didn't really meet up in a live role-play environment outside the system?
Not so much, mostly because we became friends through the roleplay system and then just got to know each other's real-world personalities afterwards. And so we got to become friends with them in the real world, and whilst our conversation generally slipped towards live roleplay, it wasn't an all-out live roleplay relationship that we were having with them.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.